You're writing your short story, and you have a draft. Congratulations! Now it's time to move on to the next step in the process. We use a kind of a traditional writing process where we draft, then we review and revise or rewrite. Of course, the writing process is a little bit different for everyone, but this is a good general framework for you. So this is the process we follow. You start with your draft, and the first thing you do is you print it out. Hard copies are really valuable. You're going to take lots of notes on it, maybe cut it apart, mark it all up. If you don't have access to a printer, just let me know, and I can print it on my printer. Then you read that draft. Now, the tricky thing is you have to read it with a little bit of distance or objectivity. This can be really difficult, but try to pretend that you're someone else, a friend, someone in your mini workshop, or, I don't know, even me. So what do you think? Are you horrified? Can you not believe this mess? Is it a train wreck? If you are feeling like that, then you probably are going to need to rewrite. Now, you can save some things that you do kind of like, but you might have to start over. However, if you feel like it's not that bad, it's going in the right direction, then you can revise. And in order to revise, we use Radar. Remember, the point is to get to a next draft that's even better. You may remember Radar from past language arts classes. Just in case it's been a little while, Radar stands for replace, add, delete, and reorder. Some things you can replace are anything that is not specific, that's too vague or too general. Anything that is overused, like cliches that have kind of lost their power. Anything that's not clear enough, you don't want to confuse your reader. And anything that just sounds awkward, you want the words in your story to flow. Some things that you can add are any interesting sensory imagery. Remember to use your 5 senses. Any descriptive adjectives and adverbs, although you don't want to pile them on and make it too flowery. And literary devices that we've discussed, like metaphors or similes or symbolism. And of course, phrases or sentences that show rather than tell. Some things that you can delete or get rid of are anything that really doesn't relate to the story or doesn't matter to the story, or that you've already said. Also, sentences or phrases that confuse your reader. Remember, you want to make this as easy to read as possible. And of course, anything that does not develop a character or move the plot along. I can't emphasize that enough. If it doesn't develop your character and it's not moving the story along, get rid of it. When you're reordering things or moving things around, sometimes it helps to take your paper copy and actually cut it, separate it by paragraphs, for instance, and see what happens when you move those around. But in general, you want to move things that don't make sense or don't make the plot clearer, or anything that is keeping your story from flowing. And of course, anything that just makes things sound awkward. As you are annotating or marking up your draft and using the Radar method, there are a few proofreading marks that might come in handy. Now, proofreading marks are usually used in a final draft when we're editing or polishing, but these can be helpful even at this rewriting or revising phase. First of all, the delete symbol. All you have to do is draw a line through something and then put a little sort of a pig's tail on it, and that means get rid of it. It can be a word, a sentence, anything. Then there's the insert mark. Sometimes it's called a caret, so I always think of carrots, of course, even though it's spelled differently. But it just means put something in, and it can be anything. It could be a letter, a word, a phrase. Last but not least, this is something I see a lot of in first drafts especially, is that it's all one big long paragraph. It's really helpful to break your writing into paragraphs. And this symbol is what you use to tell yourself, yeah, I need to start a new paragraph here. So now you have some tools that you can use to make an even better next draft. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please feel free to do this collaboratively with your workshop partners and have fun.